Shalom everyone, it's Kol Torah, it's Tuesday at noon, and this time at Kol Torah we will discuss an issue that I think requires more than the few minutes that we have for Kol Torah, but I hope I will give you some food for thought. The last test that Abraham needs to go through is at the end of our Parsha, Parashat Vayera, and it's one of the most famous Nisyonot, one of the famous trials of Abraham, the Binding of Isaac, Akedat Yitzchak. And I would like to throw few questions regarding this trial from different perspectives. And to really, I would like, and I hope that it will lead to some healthy discussion among everyone who listens to today's Divrei Torah. When we think about a trial, when we think about a test, the first thing that comes to my mind is, what's the purpose? What is the purpose of a test? Why a test will be given to Abraham after he already passed many of them? But even before he passed even the first one, the question that we need to ask ourselves is, why to have a challenge? Why God presents us with trials, with tests in our lives? And I think that we can find many different perspectives, many different answers, many different reasons, many different, I would say, attempts to try to understand one of the most important human questions. And I'm not talking only about why me, why now, why it needs to be so tough, but rather I'm talking about just the concept of a trial in general. What is the purpose of a nisayon, of a trial? So some opinion says a nisayon can be even a punishment. Sometimes challenges in life can be a punishment. And obviously this opinion is a very interesting opinion that obviously needs to have a deep analysis. What kind of punishment? Why to punish? How do you deal with the punishment? Other opinion says, no, a trial, a test is not a punishment, but rather is an opportunity of growth, is an opportunity to grow religiously, personally, socially, financially, whatever the challenge is. And basically every test that Abraham was presented to was basically to help him, to elevate him, to make him grow. And I don't have a good answer for what is the opinion that I really like less or like more. I think it's a combination of different opinions. It depends on the person, it depends on the challenge, it depends on the trial and the test, what stage in your life are you experiencing it. The thing is, the common denominator is for sure that each one of us, really each one of us, is being tested on a daily basis. Different things. Major things like Iran as a threat to Israel. Little things in our own community, with our own families, with our own institutions. Everyone is being tested in his personal lives. It can be at the workplace, it can be at the family arena, it can be in every stage in our lives that we are being tested. The question is, what do we get from that test? Are we the same people? Or are we a different people after we are being challenged? So those are major questions that we all need to think about. Let's go to another perspective. This test is one of the most difficult tests, not only that Abraham had to go through, but when you think about what a human being needs to go through, is something tremendous. Abraham was asked by God to take his own beloved child, Yitzchak, the child that the Avrahamic traditions and legacy should be passed to him, and to take him and to bring him as a sacrifice. And this is obviously a time for us to ask a question. Is that what God wants? Is that what God wants, to take your own child and to be able or to be willing or to accept the idea that you need to sacrifice him? Is that the demand, the absolute demand, the ultimate demand that God asks from human beings to do for him? How can we balance it with our concept of a compassionate God, of Jewish continuity? What was in God's mind, so to speak, when he conveyed such a commandment to Abraham? A third question that I would like to ask about this entire story: what about Yitzchak? You know, as we know, we called it a test to Abraham, but at the same time, it was a huge test for Yitzchak. Yitzchak was not a little child in the time of the binding of Isaac. Isaac was 37 years old. Yeah, he was a mature person. He was an adult. How can we explain his feelings when his own father says to him, "My dear son, we are going to a trip with a one-way ticket for you. I will have a round ticket. But for you, we're just going to bring you to a place and you're going to say goodbye to the world. No family, no children, nothing." What do we think Yitzchak had in mind when he was told by his own father about his own destiny? And then, let's ask another question. The fourth question. I know today is not Leil HaSeder, it's not the Passover night, that we don't need to have 4 questions, but I would like to ask the fourth one. What are the ramifications, the consequences, the psychological consequences of such a test? A, to the relationships between Avram and Yitzchak, Yitzchak and Avram, about the relationship between Avram and Yitzchak and God himself. And later on, the death of Sarah is probably as a result, according to our sages, of this traumatic event. What would we think Abraham felt and what Isaac felt after going through this test, but not letting Sarah, Yitzchak's mother, Abraham's wife, know about this entire trial? What I would like each one of you to do today is really to look into the story, to look into the details, and to try to understand what are the messages for us. What can we gain from this heroic story or traumatic story of Akedat Yitzchak, of the binding of Isaac? There's no question, it produced for us a merit for generations to come. Thank you.